right. Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us to DENTACHAT once again. We try to put different topics, not only related with dental, can be related with business as well, and culture and stuff. So always keep us up. Well, really appreciate that you guys joining us tonight, because we normally have a lunchtime on Friday, but we experiment in doing it after work. So tonight we have Nicole joining us across the ditch from the sunny Sydney. Is that right, Sydney? Yeah, right, Sydney. And Nicole is the product manager for Carestream CAD/CAM. So all that has to do with the CAD/CAM area of Carestream. And tonight we're going to talk about digital scanning and all the digital area, which I think most of you guys and most of the dentists now will be doing some kind of digital, like I can't remember the last time I've seen a film OPG, for example. So I will imagine everybody, most or less, they're doing something digital. But look, I don't want to give you any more introduction. I'll pass it on to Nicole to start, this. So there you go. So I'm going to make you host.
Thank you. Thank you, Rudy, for that stellar introduction. I hope everyone's doing well, and I really appreciate you joining me at 6 o'clock. It's about 4 o'clock here in Sydney. Not that that matters. All the days have kind of been blending into one lately in this lockdown. There's been a lot of new revelations. People know that I'm not a natural blonde anymore, so that's really disappointing. But yeah, I hope you're all keeping safe and well. It's been a really weird year, a weird 2 years, but we're kind of coming up at the back end of it now, which is good. I'm just going to share my screen. We're going to talk today about going digital. Not sure everyone's background in terms of, if we're still taking conventional PBS, or if we've made the big jump and we've moved into digital. There's still a big market out there of PBS users that aren't quite trusting in the technology. But I guess what my aim today is to take you along about how far it's actually progressed, particularly in COVID here in Australia. Intraoral scanner sales have absolutely exploded. There's a lot of key benefits as to why that's been the case. Obviously, less downtime in regards to couriers, for example. So something really simplistic as booking pickups, etc. We don't need to do that when we're taking digital impressions. It's all sent via the web direct to your lab, your patient scan itself. Also, from an infection control perspective, going digital has its benefits in that case. It's a really small device. The tips are autoclavable, okay? So in terms of cost saving as well, we're not spending on trays, we're not spending on PBS. From an infection control perspective, we're not leaving in the patient's spittoon. We're not having to carry that impression through to our stereo bay. As well as obviously with going PBS, we run the risk of distortions. So as soon as we take that impression, even with the solution that we're sterilizing that impression in, then obviously that pickup time where we need to get the impression picked up and sent to our lab, we run the risk of a distorted impression, as well as in the pour up stage. So we'll go through our latest and greatest model as well. It's literally been on the market for a week. It's our new wireless scanner, the 3800, which actually turns into a 2D camera as well, which is pretty amazing. It's the only scanner out there that does it in the market. So we'll go through the ins and outs of how it works today. And then obviously any questions you've got at the end for me, please let me know, or type them as I'm speaking. But I'm not the biggest fan of slides, so we'll get through them quickly for you. And I'd just love to be able to jump in and take a live scan for you today, take you through the feature set in the scanning software itself, and show you what it can do. So Carestream Dental, previously known as Kodak, we've been around for zonks, okay? Not just with a CAD-CAM portfolio, but I'm sure you've heard of our imaging portfolio as well. So our CBCTs, our RVGs, our OPGs, as well as our CAD-CAM sector. In regards to CAD-CAM, you know, we've had quite a few models out on the market. We've currently got 3 in our portfolio, starting with the 36, which is still probably our most popular model, going down to the 37 and our latest and greatest CS3800, which is our wireless scanner. Just depending on what you want to do, what stage you're at, obviously there's a price point factor. You know, it is an expense, it is an investment going digital. Does it offset, obviously, the additional surgery cost? Yes, it does. You do save your money. It's rebatable with health funds here in Australia. It's technically an intraoral photograph. It's a diagnostic model. There's a lot we can do in terms of return on investment with our scanners. But this is our portfolio here. None of our models are getting discontinued anytime soon. 3600 is a really good entry-level scanner. The nice thing about the portfolio is that it comes with the same software. So if you've already got, say, a 3600 with ScanFlow, you'd be really familiar, obviously, with the software interface on the later models as well. So our wireless, I'm still in awe, and I know you might think I'm biased, but it took me a while to get my demonstration unit, and I got it about a week ago. I'm running a 4-year-old laptop, which is an i7. It's got NVIDIA graphic drivers in it. I run all 3 models off this one dedicated laptop. I was seriously impressed by the speed of this thing. It's about 240 grams. It detects shade. It's got an anti-glare mode in it for our orthos, which is handy, you know, when we're scanning brackets, wires. We've got a mouthful of amalgam gold crowns. It's got that additional functionality where it'll block out the glare, which conventionally back in the day we used to have to do with a scan powder or spray, which I don't think are available anymore. So it's not specifically for one type of GP or specialist. It's got functionality across the modalities for anything that you want to do. Designed by Studio FA Porsche, which we'll talk about in a second. It does come in different colours, so if you've got a Porsche, you can match it to the colour of your Porsche. Studio Porsche obviously designs the car itself, but they're also currently invested in medical tech as well as super yachts. So our research and development team collaborated with Studio Porsche Direct. They help us with the ergonomics, so the shell, you know, how it feels in hand, the grit channel, even down to the scanner heads. They've assisted design, and then we fill it with all the good stuff. So it's been a really good partnership so far. They collaborated with us on the 3700 as well, as the new one, and who knows what will happen in the future with these guys, but it's been a pretty successful partnership to date. So if anyone's had a chance to play with the scanner, cords are the enemy. Cords are the enemy in the sense that if they're on the ground, you know, your dental chair, you're not looking, you could run over them. There's a lot of things that can go wrong with a corded scanner. Obviously, in this instance, we don't have to worry about those. I've just got a photo up of the 3700 as well, so you can see the differences in body. We had a bit of feedback on the body of the 37. See, it's smaller around the head tip, but it's got a bigger booty. It's a bit more streamlined in this instance because obviously grip is key when it comes to a wireless device. We need to be able to hang on to it because it's so light. Might give us a bit of a false sense of security, so we need to be able to grip that comfortably in mouth. I guess when going digital, you know, if it's your first time consideration, it's not just you. I guess your whole practice needs to be incorporated in that process. And I know Alluro is particularly big on, obviously, when we're going from analog to digital, is cross-training your staff. The best scanners I've seen in Australia are not necessarily doctors, or due respect, they're DAs at orthodontic practices. These ladies and gents are taking about 15 to 20 full mouth scans a day, and they're fantastic at it. It's not an X-ray device. You don't need a degree to be able to use one of these. It's a fancy camera. Okay, and in doing that, it saves you time. You get to spend more time with your patients. You get to spend more time treatment planning. You get to spend more time looking at other digital toys to buy, such as chairside softwares and mills. So speed's a bit controversial when it comes to digital. I don't like to compare other brands of speed. I can take a 10-second scan of an arch off the 3800. Is that scan going to be accurate and sufficient for your lab? Maybe, maybe not. Okay. Speed comes with practice, obviously comes with the hardware that you're using, but it comes with time. We're not focused on getting you to take 2-minute scans. Obviously, that's in the scope. Down the line, we want to get you up to that point where you are super quick. You've got a feel for it. You know exactly where to go, what you're looking for. I guess in the first part of going digital, it's all about the prerequisites of the clinical situation. So full mouth scanning, you know, if it's for an upper splint, if it's for a sleep app appliance, if it's for crown and bridge, implant pros, we want you to be giving out the best scans as possible and to teach you what to look for in those instances. So again, with the grip, we're pretty loose and free here at Carestream. You know, we're not going to tell you how to hold it. It's ultimately down to what's most comfortable for you, obviously in the learning process. So the thing I like about the 3800 in particular is we see a lot of doctors and specialists going across surgeries. So if they've got another branch that they work at, or you've got multiple surgeries open, this thing is so easy to cart around. You know, you're just going to take your laptop with you, take the extra batteries, and take your wireless dongle and your scanner itself, as well as a few tips. We do sell cases for that tiny little suitcase, so it's really compact and easy to get from room to room. These batteries are fantastic. They're the quickest charging wireless batteries on the market. Takes about 120 minutes from dead flat to fully charged, which is good. If we don't charge our batteries by chance, we've got a backup power cable that comes in handy. So with the unit itself, you actually get a docking station, which turns into a stand. So when it's in vertical position, it's charging. Going back to the battery situation, is it going to take 60 minutes to scan, or it takes 60 minutes scanning with the scanner on for it to deplete? So that's from fully charged. There's never going to be an instance where a scan is going to take that long. So whenever we're scanning, just hanging it back up in the vertical position. If we need to put it down, readjust the patient, for example, or put them in a different bite setting, you can just hang it in on a horizontal position, so it's easy for you to grab again. And with your backup power cable, it's not tiny by any means. So you've got a couple of meters, give or take. Everyone's setup's different with Carestream. The thing I love about Carestream is there's no subscriptions. You know, I know a lot of companies out there, they might give you subscription-less services for the first year. We don't work that way. That's not our business model. It's all upfront. It's all inclusive. So that goes with software upgrades, anything you want down the line. One of the nice things about that is it's a completely open system. So what that means is you can access your scans from any station in the surgery. So you don't need to do everything direct from your scanning laptop. Everyone's different. A lot of dealers and resellers of equipment will give you the option of purchasing the laptop direct from them, which is good. They'll do the spec check for you. But if you want to bring the price point down of your scanner, you might have something that's up to scratch there in the surgery. You know, you might have an appropriate desktop. You might already have an appropriate laptop, or you might want an additional laptop to set up in every room. So you've got the ability to be able to scan in every room. So it's completely open in terms of setup. The autoclavable tips are great. The disposables, we don't do disposables, but obviously other scanner brands do. They can become quite expensive. I think some scanners are about $67 per disposable tip. So that's all cost factors that we need to take into account. I like ours because they come in different sizes. We've got a side tip, we've got a normal tip, which is a bit more narrow, the scanning head. And then we've got a pediatric tip as well. Pediatric tip's great for children. You know, it's a perfectly safe device to use on them. It's a camera. Children, patients with chronic TMJ that don't have a wide opening or can't stay open for extended periods of time, we can interchange to our smaller tip to make your patients comfortable. And I guess that's the end game. It's about them and comfortability. So with the 3800, so it's the biggest field of view we've had. How does a bigger field of view help? So it makes it easy to scan. See, the more the scanner can see itself, the quicker it's going to pick up, the more information it's going to pick up. Cases where we're scanning the full palate, long edentulous spans. So if you haven't already had a go at scanning those, sometimes they can be problematic, particularly on the lower where we've got no ridge, for example, can be a bit tricky. In this instance, no problem. With a bigger field of view, it holds more data in and makes it easier to scan across smoothly. When we're doing multiple scan bodies all on 4 work. Fully edentulous. So we've got a new denture workflow in our software. So fully edentulous arches, really quick, into proximals. And it just improves your overall scanning experience by being able to tackle those slightly more difficult clinical situations a little bit faster. So I've just got an example here. Just of what it may look like when we're scanning a full edentulous arch. We've won quite a few best-in-class awards for our 3736 and soon to be 38. It's a dream scanning edentulous spaces and arches like this, where maybe a couple of years ago it was really, really difficult. As well as our denture scanning workflow. Now, we will touch on this a little bit later, but we've had a new software upgrade. It's called ScanFlow Premium. We've got the ability to be able to scan in the edentulous quadrants, arches. We've also got a hybrid functionality within that workflow. So one thing that scanners cannot do, any of them, whether it be Medit, iTero, Carestream, Trios, they cannot recreate compression. Okay. With our new edentulous scanning workflow, basically we can scan the edentulous arch, then it'll give us the opportunity in a subsection to take a conventional PVS. What we can then do in that instance is scan in the PVS indent. What the software does is fuses them both together. You can bin that PVS. It's the best of both worlds. Okay, we've just digitized your PVS impression and fused it with our digital scan to give us the best clinical result. And it ultimately leads to faster scanning, the more data we can see. So it's pretty quick. When we think about conventional PVS having to, I don't know, I was a DA myself at one point many, many years ago, and getting that sore arm by mixing the impression up, loading the tray. With the alginate, you've got to be a lot quicker, putting it in, setting. We might have a dagger, we might have a something like that. So obviously with scanning, you can stop and start as you please. You can be as quick as you want, you can be as slow as you want. You know, it's nice for children as well. You know, if you can let them hold the scanner first, you know, they can even hold it up to their tooth with you holding on it, so they know what it feels like. It's, again, from a patient comfortability perspective, it's a bit of a game changer in surgery. So I've just got some clinical examples here of the types of work and cases we've seen come through. Obviously, immediate placement is a popular one with our perios and pros. You know, we've got an implant placement here, got a multiple unit bridge prep and a crown as well. So we can see the resolution we can get off this. We don't need to worry about drags, impression distortion. It's a lot more accurate in that sense than conventional PBS. And the true to life colouring, I must say, in the new software is excellent. So now we're going to talk about depth of field. Every scan is different. Depth of field is obviously the distance between the nearest and furthest objects. With our scan, it is designed to touch or be near to touching. Why that's good is when you're scanning, we don't encourage you to look directly in your mouth all the time, just depending on your setup. You know, I've got doctors that have PCs integrated on their chairs. They move their scanner screen up there. So that's what they're watching the whole time when they're scanning. They might have their laptop on a trolley next to them. I have one doctor that has pretty much a PC as big as the wall integrated. So he's looking at that constantly when he's scanning. By touching the teeth as well, it gives you a bit of an anchor point. When you're scanning, it doesn't hurt, it's not uncomfortable, the scanner doesn't get hot. You know, in the training process, we take you through, obviously, getting a feel from it from a patient's perspective by scanning each other, scanning yourself. But depth of field is important when it comes to accuracy. So with our 37 model, our depth of field was about 14 millimetres. In our 38, and again, for such a light device that is wireless, I don't know how they've done it, but the depth of field is 21 millimetres. Okay, tricky openings, you know, distal back ends of wisdom teeth, for example, hard for any scanner to get in there. And there are some big scanners in the market. There are some massive scanners in the market. So you need that versatility to be able to get into those spaces for those patients where it's not always straightforward. So a broader depth of field makes it easier to scan deep surfaces. So emergence profiles for our implant pros, embrasures, interproximal surfaces, deep subgingival margins, which we'll touch more on in a second. So this is an example of scanning, and part of our sequencing when scanning a scan body. If everyone's not sure what a scan body is, it's basically a digitized version of a conventional impression coping you have for when it comes to implant pros. So instead of ordering an impression coping and matching it to the manufacturer and the size, we'd order a digitized version, which most of your labs, if your labs are digital, they'll have their own, so you don't even need to purchase them. So again, it's cutting down on costs, and they're autoclavable and reusable as well. So a part of our implant scanning process is to get a really nice emergence profile. We get you to take the healing abutment off. We take a scan like this. Then we adapt the workflow. We screw our scan post in, obviously take our PA to make sure it's seating, and then it's as simple as scanning the scan post in. Subgingival margins or borderline subgingival margins are painful when it comes to digital, but again, we've got that hybrid workflow. So in an instance, obviously in the same rules apply to digital scanning, say for a crown prep, as they do for PBS. You still need to use your retraction cord. You still need to stem the bleeding. You know, we might need to use Expasil as well as retraction cord in this instance. The same rules apply. So it's an easy conversion. Just instead of taking an impression, we're taking a quick scan. Okay, if there are instances, and even with a greater depth of field, you know, they're still too subgingival. Again, these are superficial machines. They can't see, obviously, that's not on the surface. Then obviously you've got your hybrid workflow as well. So that hybrid, I have one doctor that 92% of her restorations are subgingival, okay, which in the beginning took us a little bit to get to know her, her technique, her workflow, the types of patients she's treating. We cracked it on the head, and basically the hybrid workflow, which is taking a prep scan like this, taking a quick PVS, scanning it in to see beneath the gum line, was the workflow for her. So she's getting beautiful fitting restorations after we kind of spent some time with her in that instance and working it out. When we've got multiple restorations that are subgingival, we can take up to 3 impression scans per case. So if we're going to take a couple of PVSs, you know, if we're doing, say, 10 units at once, we've got 10 crowns to do on the top and a couple to do down the bottom. You can do this all within the one scan. So how does the 3800 measure up? So this one's actually got a faster frame rate than our previous models and most out there on the market. A larger field of view and a broader depth of field, which makes it all of those factors hand in hand, leads to a really nice smooth scanning experience. So your hand pierce button functions and gesture motion control. It's a long one to spit out, excuse me. Where this comes in handy is when you think about a realistic situation and, you know, you've got the patient in the chair, you're worrying about them, you're worrying about where your drill is, you know, you've got enough to worry about. Not to mention having to move over, get out of your position, which is annoying, and hit next to go to the next hands scan section, or you want to rotate your model to make sure that you haven't missed anything. Our software is touchscreen compatible, just depending on the laptop that you choose. But with the 3800, it's got a gyro function built into it. So you can scroll through your arches, move to the next step. You can even rotate your model and zoom in, all without having to get out of position, okay? This process just makes it a bit more comfortable for you. You don't need to get out of position. You don't need to lose track. You can do it all from being near the laptop and pointing your scanner at it like a remote. So we'll miss this step actually, and I might just demonstrate once we jump to a live scan. ScanFlow is a software that all of our iOS models come with. So there's a basic and premium version. Its main features is you hear people referring to softwares and third-party softwares as opened or closed systems. Okay, Sirona is a closed system, for example. We are open. So what does that mean? Being an open system, we get along with anybody that wants to get along with us. We're pretty easygoing. So what that means is if down the line you want to start doing your own chairside stuff, you know, you want to invest in a mill, a third-party chairside software to design in-house instead of outsourcing. We directly integrate into products such as DENTACHAT chairside, for example, or DENTACHAT Smile Creator. Our files are open. There's no restrictions on importing, but do your research in terms of if you've got a digital game plan, you're wedded to a particular brand or way, just make sure that they're an open system. If not, figure out the alternatives for it. So efficient data handling. So we've taken our scan, we've taken a beautiful scan. How do we then get that information to the lab? It's all done from the software. So at the very end of the scan, there's a button that says export. It'll give you your export options. So if you're doing anything in-house, you can open it with the chairside software. If you want to send it to your lab, for example, who should already have an account, basically it's one click, send to them, opens up our CS Connect page, and then we can just type in the treatment note. So I want a crown on the 4-3, I want it in zirconia, I want it back by this date. It's one click to send off. We don't often see you guys doing that. That's more of a practice management thing. Your DA, obviously, that can hear, obviously, everything that's going on in that appointment, so knows what you want it restored to, knows where it is. They'll often jump in and take on that side of things. So it's a workflow, not just for you that's changing. It's for everybody. And it's all about making their lives easier as well as being, you know, that's the way the world's going, unfortunately, particularly with medical tech. It seems to be going in that direction. We're veering away from analog, and it's a new skill set for them to learn as well. So these are just about, obviously, the scan flow options. The 3800 comes with the premium version, so you get all the whistles and bangs with the software. There is a basic version, which will drive the price point down of the units, but it is basic, but you've always got the option to pay one time and upgrade. What I like about premium, though, is, again, it's subscription-less, but you get every future software upgrade for the rest of the scanner's life. So if we bring out a new workflow, we bring out new icons, features, you get all that without needing to pay a single cent. Again, we talk about simplicity. It's my favorite word. Some scanner workflows are complex. I find ours to be really, really simple. Anybody can do it. 4 simple buttons: acquiring our scan, refining our scan and checking it, which you don't need to do. The software tidies it up for you. Adapt, so we can build a base on our model within the software prior to export. Why that comes in handy is you might want a beautifully presented model. Say you're doing a post-consultation discussion where you're presenting a treatment plan to a patient, or your practice manager is. Got a beautiful model on up screen. Or if we're 3D printing on site. So we don't need to go and buy an additional CAD software to be able to base our models prior to print. We've got it in the software for you. And then obviously exporting, open workflow, we're sending it off to our clear aligner company, we're sending it off to our local lab, you know, we're sending it off to Noble Biocare, or our chairside workflows, we're doing everything in-house. And again, he's just highlighting, obviously, restorative, scanning in dentures we can do in this instance, orthodontics, dental sleep medicine, implants, the world's your oyster with this one. So I think it's really important, if you are thinking about going digital, it's your first time. A lot of the big companies, you know, they don't sell direct. I know we're not a direct market. We sell through our resellers. So do your research. I know you're in very good hands with Allura. I'm sure you guys already know that. I've yet to see a reseller from start to finish. They're with you the whole time, you know, from initial demonstration. You know, some companies, and I won't name names, you know, you sign up, you purchase your scanner, they drop it off at your door, you're on your own. That's certainly not the case with Allura. I've seen John, I've seen Bruce go back 6 months down the line to do a check-in and teach us some more advanced things. So yeah, just be careful. Obviously, when you're making the investment, is that you're making sure you're going to have the best support post-sale care that's on offer. So we've obviously got guidance hints. That was a leeway to guidance hints as well. The software is really self-explanatory with the buttons, but it's got inbuilt tutorials. So if you're working at a practice that's got 9 chairs, for example, and you've got new GPs starting, you've got new hygienists starting, you've got the ability to turn on the tutorials, so everyone's more comfortable with the software. The guidance hints pop up. You know, they might have been using another scanner. This scanner is new to them in terms of the buttons. Having those tips on while you're in mouth is super helpful. So again, this is just touching on CS Connect, facilitates the transfer of STL, PLY, and our patent ICOM files as well. It's iPhone compatible, so it's nice. Again, you're maybe not doing the direct uploads and send out to the labs. But if you've got an iPhone, for example, and you've gone home for the day and you thought, oh my God, did they send that scan? That case, we're trying to bring it forward and get these crowns issued. It's iPhone compatible. So you can jump into your portal on your phone and you can see that the case has been submitted. You can actually even see when the labs accepted it, downloaded it, and started production. Okay. So again, just touching on ScanFlow Basic Premium. If you want a bit more oomph and you want something a bit more comprehensive than the basic version, which is still fantastic, you can still do most things. You can always upgrade to premium down the line. So what we're particularly famous for is integration. Differences between I like to use the comparison of a lot of storage cabinets I've seen going into surgeries. I've seen rooms full of models. I've seen models stuffed into every cabinet in the surgery. I've seen them fall out of cabinets, look like they could kill somebody. You know, you have that liability that you need to keep hold of these records for a certain period of time. I guess going digital, you need to make sure you have a fully integrated solution. Otherwise, they're just as hard to keep track of. Okay. The good thing about Carestream, again, we're open, but this software basically underlays into your DPMS software, so your practice management software. But Dental for Windows, Oasis, PracticeWorks, OrthoTrack, it can sit and we could link it in within. So all of your charting, you know, all of your 2D photographs that you've taken with the scanner, all of your scans, you know, your intraoral, your cone beams, they're all sitting in one spot for you. Okay, you don't need to go through different icons. You don't need to jump to different databases within the computer that they're stuck. It all sits in together. Okay, usually in this instance, we have a database sitting on your server. So storage hopefully shouldn't be an issue for years and years and years and years and years to come. Okay. So being able to add on different softwares. Obviously, if it's a complete analog to digital version, take your time. Okay. See how it works for you, what your interests are, what you want to do with it. It's not a short game. This conversion, it's a long game. Once you go digital, I guarantee you'll never go back. So it's a matter of taking your time, becoming comfortable with the software, becoming comfortable with that change of appointment times as well. You know, you're going to be able to do a lot more in a lot less time going digital. And then you've got all these different modules. So you can obviously go chairside, which we were talking about before. We've got a software coming out early next year where you can do your own in-house aligners. All you need is that software and all you need is a 3D printer, which are relatively inexpensive these days. Okay, so it's all well and good to want to do everything in one go, but maybe give yourself a bit of a timeline in terms of mastering 3D scanning or staff mastering it, and then we can add on all these additional things because it might be a little bit too overwhelming all at once. Okay, but that's the beauty of it. It's not going to change. You can take it at your time. So I've just popped this together just so you can see, obviously, key differences in what you're doing now, and then you can relate it back to what we've got on screen. And this is our digital workflow. Obviously starts with a scan. That's all it takes. Design and fabricate, place. Okay, a lot quicker than obviously taking our impression, sending it off to our lab, getting it poured up, getting it sent back. You know, we're only paying for one courier fee, and that's standardly the lab sending it to you. You're not sending it to them. So restorative, obviously taking the scan. Again, there's two paths. We can design in-house or we can send off. Fabricating and placing. So a lot of the time now, the CAD/CAM techs become so advanced from the lab's perspective that sometimes they don't even need to print out a model. They design digitally, they fit digitally, and they just send you the restoration. Implant workflow, a little bit more complex. If we've got new surgeons on the call, There's a lot of variety. I guess it's what we made a name for ourselves as. We were the implant scanner. That's because of its soft tissue accuracy, the way it measures, and obviously an integration with the CBCT. You've got a complete end-to-end workflow with the 3D planning software as well. So you can plan, treat, place, restore on site. Orthodontic, so you can see the conventional method at the top here. If we are doing clear aligners, which we'll touch on in the next slide, a little bit different these days, but for conventional braces, for example, we can look at the total time that we've saved in this instance. You know, take a scan, and we've got a digital model. This is obviously within our software itself. The reporting we can generate out of this orthodontic software is quite incredible. It'll give you a simulation of what the patient can achieve after either conventional braces or clear aligners, and it'll give you the steps to do that. So the aligner workflow with CS model, not even with CS model, we can see, I think it's one of our Formlab printers, which are good, as well as a Sega, how simple it is. The software does it all for you. Obviously, we've got your clinical input as well in terms of what the patient wants. But basically in-house aligners are the way to go. People are getting a bit annoyed about paying these extortionate costs to these big companies. They want to retain that work in-house. And it's really simple with softwares like this. There are a couple out there at the moment. So do your research, but all you need is a scanner, an ortho software and a printer, and you're pretty much on your way. Sleep device workflow. So we can take up to 5 different bite sets in our software. A lot of these sleep app appliances, minimum requirements, we need to 3 different bite sets. So we need one occlusion, we need an edge to edge, we need a protrusive. Taking all those bite registrations with PVS is done. Okay, doing that with an intraoral scanner is so incredibly easy, and it literally takes a couple of steps. So validated third-party partners. Here are just some of them, not all of them. So this is who accepts us. This is who we directly integrate with. You can see a lot of clear aligner brands there. There's a big one that's not on there for obvious reasons. They want to lock you into buying their scanner, but there's a lot of great clear aligner options upcoming, which are a lot more reasonably priced, and the quality is fantastic. As well as your guided surgery. You've got the works there, obviously DENTACHAT, Blue Sky Plan for your in-house implant placement planning as well. There's a lot of partners there. And learning at your own pace. So again, this is what I spoke about before. There is no rush to have a full-on digital setup, you know, within 1 month of deciding to go in that direction. Take the time, take the learning experiences, you know, use your reps, you know, use Alluro, use whoever you purchase through. Make sure they're giving you the post-sale experience that you need and you deserve, and making sure everybody's cross-trained. You're completely comfortable to be able to take the next step. But we've got a YouTube channel, for example. So Carestream Dental, it's got 4-minute how-tos. So if you ever get stuck, you don't have time to call your rep, you don't have time to call me, basically jump on YouTube, our channel, type in how to scan a crown, for example, how to scan a full mouth, how to scan for a sleep appliance. It'll give you a 4-minute video on how to do that. So the resources are there for post-training and new staff starting to be able to train your newbies. I talk a lot, guys, so I probably won't have time to take a full mouth scan today, but I'd love to be able to open it up to questions if anybody has any.
Nicole, thank you so much for that. I wonder if you can do, how long will it take at least to do a little bit of a demo?
To put the
So
pressure on.
Would like to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me I'll stop sharing and then I'll bring my software up. I've put my foot in it now by saying how quick it was. Alrighty. Can everyone see my screen? Can you see my screen, Rudy? Perfect. This is your base. This is your hub CS imaging. This is where everything sits in between. So do we see these icons at the top here? Okay. If we had a CT, we had an OPG, you'd see all these additional icons. So this CS imaging will go, you get 20 activations with any imaging purchase or scanner purchase. So you would have this station installed on every computer in your surgery. That way you can access all of this information from wherever you are. Okay, so I'll launch the scanner, really simple, hit my scanner icon at the top. Launching away. There it is. So again, I spoke about simplicity. We've got scanner, we've got import. What I like about import, again, it's about time saving. So if we incorporate a new scan at every new patient appointment, at every checkup and clean, again, it's rebatable. Okay, there's lots of things we can do in terms of rebate. But if we import, say a patient comes in, you do a 6-monthly checkup, you say, hey, you need a crown down the bottom. We can import that scan taken at that checkup next time the patient comes in and simply add to it. Okay, we can cut out the tooth that we've prepped. All you'd really need to do on that appointment is scan in one tooth. Okay. Just making sure you can see my screen.
Oh, hello. Sorry. It was just like showing all the images, the presets.
Was it just the image? Because it opens up a new subscreen. Excuse me, guys.
Oh, right. Okay, gotcha. No worries.
I'll just reshare it. Can everyone see it now?
There you go. Now we can see.
All righty. So scan and import. So import, you know, even if our lab says, hey, I need a new rescan, we're not having to rescan the patient every time that they come in. We can re-import old data. Okay. If we want to take a new scan off the bat. And again, this is all touch screen. You can use your finger, you can use your stylus. 4 simple stages at the top. Scan, check. We don't have to build a base every time, so we can just go check its score. Okay, just turn my scanner on, really simple. It's on now. Okay, so I'm just going to start. So we see bottom left-hand corner, it's got highlighted what arch I'm in, so the upper. So I'm just going to work my way across. If we veer off, you know, if we're not looking at the screen, but we're looking in mouth, which tends to happen, we veer off course. It'll beep at you. It's got an array of scanner noises as well, which you can even integrate your favorite song that'll play when the scanner's picking up. When we veered off course, it'll cut out. I don't know how much longer it'll be your favorite song for if you're listening to it all day, every day while you're scanning. It's got plenty of scan warnings. Okay, so if there's a discrepancy in the mesh, or we need to refine that incisal edge, it'll tell us. That's my upper. Got a mode button on my scanner handpiece itself. I'm going to toggle through to the lower. I'm going to take my lower scan quickly. So again, lightly touching if you can, sometimes across that incisal edge, a little bit too thin. So just tilt it slightly to the lingual and then straighten back up on the molars. We have a set scanning sequence we teach you in the beginning, but with our software, you can go a little bit rogue. If you've got a particular way you want to do it, again, we just teach you about what data we're looking at picking up, what we need to refine. So again, if I veer off, if I'm going a little bit too quickly for it, it'll tell me. Little green spots are telling me where there's missing data. Okay, mode button through to my bite, telling me I've got a missing spot on one of my teeth, which you can always go back and refine. If it's an opposing model, to say your prepped arch or quadrant, you don't need to go back. It's whatever's going to be clinically necessary. And for an opposing, you can have a patchy model. We just need it for the bite. So letting it register. So that's a bite scan. Again, we can see our different sections down the bottom here. So if we're doing any sleep app appliances, I want to open it up and take another bite set, use a leaf gauge, George gauge, take a protrusive. I can take up to 5 additional bites, and you can rename them to whatever you want. So always making sure we've got a bite on each side. Okay, perfect. So again, clicking through my mode, holding my finger on there just to toggle through, make sure I've got everything. 1, 2, 3, perfect. So the icon that I wanted to touch on before we go to questions, obviously if you're looking at a 2D camera as well, you don't need to pay for one of those in addition. Your 3D scanner turns into a 2D camera, okay? A lot of icons and features. Adapts things out to a workflow that we want. What that does is duplicate the mesh over so we can cut teeth out and rescan them in. But yeah, going back to the 2D camera, you can basically line up a particular photo you want of an area and then snap it. Or in that whole scanning process, basically what the computer's doing is automatically recording this information. So let me just move this out of the way. So if I go to intraoral, I click on anywhere in the mouth. See, that's a 2D image of my plastic model. So that's true to life. When it comes to patient education, you know, you could tell a patient, hey, they're standing on this tooth. You know, your cusps are wearing down every 6 months that I see you. You really need to get a splint. From a patient education perspective, being able to show them 2D images or even their 3D model when they sit up. You don't need to do everything from the dedicated screen. You could take them into a different room. This is truly invaluable, you know, to be able to show them, even hygienists. I get them using this feature and taking a photo of basically the lingual side, so the calculus build-up, and being able to show patients where they need to pay more attention to when they're brushing. The opportunities are endless when you've got 2D photographs to back up what you're trying to say. So we basically star these out. We star everything we want to keep, any angle we want. And then when we export it out, you'll see it either in your integrated, so your practice management software, if we've got a local setup, you'll see it in your CS imaging. You can drag and drop those photos into emails. You can drag and drop them into reports, into Word documents, for example. You know, if you're sending back to a referring dentist, there's a lot we can do in terms of patient education with these types of features, as well as it's patient monitoring. So it's prepping us for potentially what could be happening down the line. So I'll open it up to questions now. I know that was really, really quick. It's a quick scanner. It's definitely the quickest one I've ever used. So yeah, any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
Well, just to start, thank you so much, Nicole. That was pretty cool. Just to start the questions, I don't know, I haven't seen any of the questions. So in terms of, I can see it's way smaller than the other versions before, but is that smaller than as many other brands? Are you aware of only the other sizes of it, or?
It's the smallest wireless device on the market. So in terms of weight, it's 240 grams. I don't know if you guys have seen a prime scan before. You can't even get your hand around that thing. It's huge. The second to us is Medit, but the technology is not quite as sophisticated in terms of accuracy. We see a lot of fitting issues with Medit. So it's really remarkable what they've managed to put in this very, very light machine, as well as being one of the shortest in the market as well. It's like a pen. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. And then just to referring to the ongoing cost, because I think it's some of the other brands that they have a fee, you know, per scan or per monthly and X amount of stuff. So just to be clear on that, the Kestrel doesn't have an ongoing fee, but doesn't mean that it will be inferior products because they upgrade, so et cetera, et cetera.
No, we just don't. And that was one of the biggest appeals to myself. I used to work for Align. So I was with Invisalign for many, many years. And I think that was my favorite thing about coming over to Carestream and learning about that particular setup is they're just not interested in doing that. You know, if you want, you can get warranty for these things for up to 7 years if you want it, which is unheard of for a medical device in the tech space. And your software is all inclusive with the unit purchase, and you get those updates. I guess that's another thing to think about when going digital is, yes, all scanners are expensive. They're all expensive. Of course, they've got a return on investment, but they are expensive upfront. You know, but if you are looking at other brands, just do your research. I know some reps aren't particularly very forthcoming with the additional costs after a certain time period. So I know some scanner subscriptions are $600 a month to keep it fully functional. We just don't do that. So
okay, fair enough. Hey, well, Nicole, thank you so much. I know it's 7 o'clock here, so
it's dinner time, everybody.
Dinner time here. But look, we record this and we put it on our learning platform and our website. And if you see more questions, they're either going to come to us. So please, guys, contact us on equipment@lura.co.nz. The CPD number, it's on the chat, but it's 587353. And yeah, just other questions, let us know. We can direct it to Nicole. And hopefully once we get out of lockdown, we can do a demo, you know.
I'll come and see you.
Just so you guys know, this is brand new off the oven and there are limited units on it, right? So yeah, don't get too upset if you snooze and didn't.
That's definitely true at the moment. So yeah, if you absolutely get in before they go up. They're definitely flying off the shelves, these ones, unfortunately.
Fortunately, but anyway, that's all right. Okay.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Anyway, Nicole, thank you so much. Have a good evening, and yeah, we'll be in touch. Thank you guys for joining us.
See you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.